How are you guys doing? I'm testing the mic. Oh my God, Dennis. Thank you for coming. We're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get ready backstage, and we'll get started. Who here is it your first time here? Yay, newbies. Oh, those clappers are going to be a big hit today. I can tell already. That'll be great. All right, guys, I'm going to be back in 1 minute, so get situated. Looks like we got a few more people coming our way, and then we'll get started with the demonstration, and then I know you're excited to try the samples, right? That's the important thing. And then we have an extra surprise from the Gateway crew at the end, so ooh. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, gang, I'm back. And we're ready to get started now. Yay! Thank you all for coming. We're so grateful to be back on the lakefront this year after our storm issues last year, so yay! We have this year a lot of great sponsors. Look at our sets, isn't it beautiful? That's done by their homes. They built this for us, and they made it recyclable so we can reuse it year after year. And then another great sponsor is the Professional Firefighters of Wisconsin Charitable Fund. Yay! And a new sponsor we have this year is Educators Credit Union. Yay! And they've joined because we know that they've been part of our community for years and years, and helping invest in the Mahone Fund is the best way to show they're committed to our community for the future. So, last but certainly not least, we have Gateway Technical College over here to our right. They've been a partner with us for quite a few years, and this year particularly, it made sense to partner with them. This year we have a slightly new concept. Those who have been here the last few years know that we have done our firefighters versus other city firefighters, right? We did Kenosha versus Racine, we did Kenosha versus Waukegan, Kenosha versus Greenfield, and those Kenosha guys were pretty hard to beat. So this year, we decided to do something a little different. So instead of bringing in somebody from another town, we decided to do 2 hometown teams. So we're doing Kenosha Fire Department versus the Kenosha Police Department. And they will be vying for this lovely trophy you see on the back wall right here. And if you know anything about police or firemen, really they'll be vying for bragging rights between each other on who the better cook is. The police have been giving us a hard time since we announced this idea because they say it's not fair because they don't get to cook at work. I also want to do a special shout out because we have several special guests in the audience from our German sister city in Wolfenbüttel, Germany. Yeah! They're here celebrating 53 years of being our sister city. They're our longest sister city relationship, and we're glad to have them. And like to introduce a fellow who has a special connection to our program. First of all, he emceed it the year we did Racine versus Kenosha, I think. Second of all, he runs the fire science program at Gateway Technical College, and he's going to tell us a little bit about that program. So, John Doms.
Thank you. Well, this afternoon you're going to get to see one of the three things people think firefighters do. Cook, write cookbooks, post for calendars, that's pretty much it, right? So, it's a privilege to be here. We have the opportunity to work with all the students who come in, and we train them to serve you, should you have the need. And we are at an unprecedented point in history where we have some of the strongest need for fire and EMS personnel, as well as law enforcement, due to a number of different factors. Everybody knows that every little town has a police department. Well, every little town used to have a volunteer fire department. Now those volunteer fire departments are having trouble finding members, so they're hiring people on a part-time and full-time basis, which is diluting the candidate pool for the career departments like Kenosha, Racine, and so on. So we are scrambling, looking for people who might have an interest in this career field. We have materials up here. I'm glad to give you business cards if you're interested in career change. I'm glad to talk to you. If you know someone in the neighborhood, family, friends, who might be interested in this career field, it's full of opportunities and challenges. No 2 days are the same. It's always something unique and something different. But we serve Racine, Kenosha, and Walworth counties, and about 46 fire departments. We work with a lot of different agencies on a regular, ongoing basis. Besides providing the initial training, we have a lot of ongoing training that we do with the career departments. That's something somewhat unique with the 16 technical colleges in Wisconsin. Gateway has some of the strongest relationships with the career departments. Most of the other technical colleges don't have that opportunity. So, does anybody have any questions that I can answer before I turn the mic back over to you? We'll be here. Enjoy.
Awesome, thank you, John. So it would be unfair of me if I just had somebody speak from the fire services sciences, right? That'd be unfair and unequal. So we also have today somebody from Gateway's Criminal Justice Program, and Tracy Duncan. Yay! Hi everybody, how are you today?
I would totally be okay not talking. But I am a criminal justice instructor for Gateway, and we have two separate programs. The first program, the associate degree program that I teach in, is a 60-credit program, and many people think, when they think, oh, criminal justice studies, that people are studying just to be cops. And that's not actually true. We train people to be probation agents, police officers, guards in a prison, security officials. You can become a security. You can get your security certificate in 1 year at Gateway, and that qualifies you to get a better paid, more solid job. But we also have our law enforcement academy, and with our law enforcement academy, you can qualify. A lot of those people are sponsored by our local departments, KPD, KSD, Pleasant Prairie, those local departments, Racine Police Department, and they come in and they're trained by people who work in this profession. And we have state-of-the-art equipment to teach them in the range, EVOC, which is evasive maneuvers with driving and that sort of thing. So we have state-of-the-art training facilities in that. Normally, if you want to promote within a police department, you need to have the 60 credits, and a lot of departments require that you have those within 5 years of becoming. So check us out. We have the same flyers over there that Fire has, and we would love to see you in some of our classes.
Thank you, Tracy. And you might be thinking, who else from Gateway could Terry have talking, right? So I've got the two teams represented. I've got fire and I've got police. Who else do you think might make sense at this competition to have speak from Gateway Technical College?
Terry Simmons.
Who else? Anybody? Culinary, exactly. actual partnership with the culinary program. We not only have one of the culinary instructors here, but we have students that are actually helping the teams get out the samples. So I would like to introduce Jessica Beauregard. Yay! From the culinary program.
Hello, thank you everyone for coming here today. Thank you so much for having us. The partnership that we have with the Malone Family has been really wonderful, and we're excited to keep doing it in the future and continuing these events together. So thank you for having us. We have a really exciting menu for you today from both teams. We're very excited to be helping out with that. And just a little bit about what our program does. We have a kitchen in Racine and also in our Elkhorn campus. We offer several different career paths, so if you're just looking to do a few classes just to get into the field or maybe brush up on your skills, we have that option. We also have a 2-year degree where you'll learn everything from knife skills, basic sanitation, all the way up to serving fine dining meals, large caterings, things like that. We also just implemented a new program in Elkhorn for meat processing. It was a big ask, I guess, in the community to have more trained butchers out in the field. So that's also starting this fall, so we're really excited about that. If you have any questions about our culinary programs, you can find all the information on our website, and we would love to see you all out there.
Thank you, Jessica. All right, you ready for the main act now? Yeah! All right, those of you who have come a few times, you might recognize the next face. Our MC today is actually a 2-time winner of this cooking competition. And so today we have Jeff Widener. We're going to call him President Emeritus of the local firefighters union and 2-time cooking competition winner.
Yeah, so I won this thing twice. That's really what it amounts to, and eventually you get to a point when you participate in things like this where they say, congratulations, you won, great, but we need more out of you. So my role has changed a little bit. Since I retired, I've had the great opportunity to be able to pass along the opportunity for someone else in the department to compete. And as a result, you never really get out of this. So I've had an opportunity to continue to help work in the back and now filling in as MC for this great event. So for an even greater cause that we never seem to want to get away from. So with us today, we have representatives from the police and fire department. From the police department, Javi Vega, who's a police officer, patrolman on first shift, is a bilingual officer who specializes in hostage negotiation and holds a white belt in, forgive me, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Here I was just going to say Kung Fu, so good thing I didn't say that. We also have Austin Maxedon, firefighter paramedic from Med 1. These two gentlemen stepped up at the request of not just the Mahone Fund, but they're also their individual departments. And so when we ask for volunteers and we ask for them to make commitments to participating in something like this, it's kind of a big deal. There's a lot of planning that goes involved. There's sponsorship costs that have to be adhered to, things of that nature. So these guys are the ones who really stepped up to make this what it is today. So thanks for coming. So I have to be honest with you, as the first time MC of this, I'm looking at notes. Okay? They're right here. They're taped down, and I'm going to be looking down. Thank goodness they printed them in large print, so I don't.
I'm here for you, Jeff. I'm here for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, if you just want to give us, Javi, if you want to just tell us a little bit about what you're preparing today.
Hello. Thank you guys. Hi. Thank you guys for having us compete against the fire department, it's always fun to go against KFD, you know. Those first responders, there's always a friendly banter and that friendly rivalry. So I appreciate it, you know, being able to come over here and, you know, shout out to those people in Wolfenbüttel. You know what I mean? I was stationed in Vilseck, Germany. So, hallo, Wiedersehen. Ich bin ein großen Blauaffe. Right, okay, sorry I had to throw that German, you know. On to what I'm here to talk about is we were informed that we needed to cook a hot dog with the police theme. And us police officers also still have a very big sense of humor. My team that I selected, each and every one of them, it's like, I don't know, there's a lot of old school people here like Voltron. They all know how to cook in their respective ways, and we all kind of came together. So we are going to treat you guys with a 100% beef hot dog wrapped in bacon, because bacon symbolizes ha-ha police officers. Right. And the bun is going to be a donut, a long john, cut down the middle, right. So the bacon is the salt, and the donut is the sweet. And as the topping, we are going to use a maple bourbon drizzle that I'm going to be, later on I'll show you guys how to make some of it. I can't give you away too many secrets. And then one of the big components of our team, Officer Smith, has a secret family baked beans recipe that literally I took a bite out of it. I had it today, and it was incredible. So that's what we got today.
Sounds good. And obviously from the fire department, Austin, if you can tell us a little bit about what you'll be preparing today.
Yeah, so today we have a Italian sausage from the one and only Tenuta's with a garlic spread on a Paoli's bun, along with basil pesto, a Scotia marinara, fresh mozzarella, and diced tomato. We chose that because our sister city also is Wolfenbüttel, is Cosenza, Italy. And we talked about doing something German like bratwurst kraut, but at the end of the day, that just doesn't win competitions, right? so we did that, and to pair that, we chose a tortellini salad. It's going to have Kalamata olives, green olives, cucumbers, mozzarella cheese pearls, red onion, and a red wine vinaigrette dressing.
Very good. So I'll let you guys kind of start working on a little bit of your preparing as we talk, and I'll interrupt you as we go along. And stuff just appearing right out of the back of the stage here.
You're ready.
So you know you're a parent when you got these tilts like these. I got like a million of them. I could use one.
So there we go.
So this is the recipe that I wrote down.
See, there we go. There's creativity, you know, recycle, reuse, you know, just, yeah. So, Javi, you guys chose 2 different types of bacon that are going to be part of your recipe. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose that?
Well, the hot dog is named the hometown dog because we got all the ingredients from the main parts from all over Kenosha. I know the bacon was got from Hometown Meats or L&M Meats over there on 60th. The hot dogs, they were gotten from some local farm. I'll have to ask my partners from where. And then the donuts were donated from Paoli's. So yeah, right, there you go, a little hometown action, right? Support small businesses, I dig it. And as for the bacon, so I tested out the recipe, and obviously the 2 types of bacon is just to give people more flavor. The hometown, it's always better when you get it home. You know what I mean? That and it's thick too. Like it's that one where you're just like, oh my god,
it's
yeah.
more of a change in texture.
Change in texture, and it adds to the flavor.
Very good. And Austin, you guys came up with a pasta dressing for your pasta salad. Where'd you come up with it? How did you arrive at choosing that?
Honestly, it's just kind of a tried and true recipe that I've used before. Simple olive oil and red wine vinegar. The olive oil is local. It's from Mavra's. She does a great job, fantastic. Straight from Greece. Beautiful olive oil to use. And the red wine vinegar, you can't go wrong with.
So you also used, both of you are using different types of vinegar in your recipes. And vinegar can be as varied as wine, as we all know. So what led you into picking each one of those types of vinegars versus, say, just some off-the-shelf type thing?
Man, okay, he's getting scientific with
So
it.
this is where we're going to talk about
Okay.
this kind and
Oh
this.
yeah, I already know about the dude. But the apple cider vinegar, thank God I could actually answer this question. I've been smoking and grilling for years now, and I mean, anybody that knows how to grill and smoke, it's a science. You know, you got to figure. Everybody's like, oh yeah, you cook so good. No, you end up messing up. You end up finding out, hey, apple cider vinegar and apple juice that you put in the basin of the smoker. That's what comes out. You know what I mean? Wrapping the meat in pecan paper compared to wrapping it up in aluminum foil. Not wrapping it, getting the bark. Reverse searing. Same thing goes with apple cider vinegar. I've learned that when you're making sauces, like the drizzle or your own barbecue sauce, apple cider vinegar just adds, it's like that sweetness. I don't, it's a tang and it's tart, obviously, because it's vinegar, but the apple, you can taste the apple flavor when you get it, and that's why I chose it.
Very good. Very good. And obviously, you went to look at a more specialized olive oil and more of an off-the-shelf type vinegar. Would you have changed anything, or is that something you were aiming for?
No, I wouldn't have changed anything. And I spoke to Mavra herself, and she said that you could tell a good olive oil by when it burns when it goes down. So her olive oil, you taste an olive oil and it burns when it goes down. It's fresh, it's good, it's to the point, it doesn't have any fillers, it's tried and true. The vinegar pairs well with the olive oil. The red wine vinegar pairs well with the olive oil because it hits your taste buds right away. So it opens up the taste buds and it lets you allow to taste all the other flavors in the pasta as you eat it.
Good. So we often talk about a lot of, keep going guys, so we often talk about different types of flavor combinations and where they're touching you on your tongue. And vinegars and things of that nature have a tendency to always want to wake up those taste buds in order to try and prepare your mouth to be able to taste all the different flavors that are presented. So I'm going to keep asking you questions while you guys are going along. Austin, can you tell me what it's like to cook in the fire station? Now that I wouldn't know.
It's
on the script here. I'm just reading.
It's stressful. It's very stressful because you think, oh, I love Kraft macaroni and cheese, but then you got 3 other people that are like, oh, I hate that. So how do you pick what to cook? You're never right when you pick what you cook. There's always going to be one person that complains, and guess what? When that one guy complains, the next day that's exactly what you make again.
So even on a shift type basis, there's a little bit of ribbing when it comes to food as well. And I don't suppose you've ever made any mistakes or anything like that over the years, right?
Hey, I make a mistake daily. I made a mistake just right now.
But isn't that how we learn as cooks, right?
Yes, sir.
So we get better by making mistakes, and none of us have ever burned anything, right? None of us have ever served something undercooked, right? Nobody's ever had a cake that never, right? None of that ever happens? No, it happens. So speaking of that, when it comes to cooking in the fire station, what are some of those challenges in regards to timing and things like that?
Oh, timing. Timing is never right. It never is. One guy wants to eat at 4 o'clock, one guy wants to eat at 7 o'clock, some want to eat at 5:30. It's never right. So we call it a yo. So you just, yo, food's ready, and guess what? At the end of the day, sit down and eat.
And Javi, you talked a little bit about some experience with smoking, and obviously there's a time element there. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the factors that go into trying to time a smoked dish for service at a particular, maybe a family event or something like that?
Ooh, this is a good one. I like this one. So, I see sometimes I have a feeling that these eyes on me right now, there's like all of you are culinary experts. So I'm going to tell you this right now. When I smoke, I have a bullet. I don't use the electrical stuff. I've got the lump coal, charcoal. You use the chunks of wood, and you sit there and you watch that temperature go up and down, and you poke it every hour, 2 hours, just to make sure that that temperature's right, because you don't want that heat going low and slow. When I did it, I called the electrical smokers training wheels, like, you know, because you can go. You could, yeah, you could put one on, and you can go to the grocery store. You could take your kids to the park, and it's still going. Like 7, 8 hours later, you can check because it's regulated. Whereas when you're doing the bullet, no. But you know what I do is, I mean, it's honestly loss of sleep. So you know, I got 2 judges in the crowd right now, 2 out of the 3, and they're those 2 beautiful girls right there that I have to cook for on a daily basis. So when you're talking about people that, you know, one person doesn't want it. That little one right there. But when it comes down to smoking, you just gotta, you know, you're smoking a brisket. You're starting it at 8 o'clock at night so that you can smoke it for 24 hours, and you're setting an alarm clock every 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night if you're feeding a family. And you know, it's all worth it when you got that one uncle that knows how to cook a rack of ribs with just garlic salt, and it comes out like cotton candy, and he gives you that nod, that's when you know, like, you're just like, I made it.
So it is a bit of a challenge to learn a lot of those different things. Go ahead and keep working, and I'm going to keep interrupting you as we go along.
You want to talk about what are they working on?
Yeah, so what actually, Austin, what are you going to be preparing for us that's kind of unique that you're going to explain?
So today I'm going to be preparing the sauce for tortellini salad. Like I said, it's the olive oil and the red wine vinegar, but I'm going to be blending it. And the reason why you blend it is because if you just kind of shake it, it separates. But if you blend it, when I'm done blending it, you'll see why we blend it. It kind of emulsifies those flavors, and it kind of melds everything together.
So anybody who's done any sort of cooking in the past, you know, we know that as we get oil and vinegar, they always never seem to mix. But one way to do that is to create agitation, put a little bit of air inside there, and drizzling that olive oil in there will then change the consistency of that, make what's called an emulsification. So that works out really well, and I see some very interesting ingredients over here. What was the first thing I saw you pour in there was?
The Maple Dude.
Maple Dude.
So the Maple Dude is 100% maple syrup. And you can tell by the consistency that it's more like liquefied. The first time when I tried this drizzle,
I'm sorry, we didn't hear that. That was inappropriate. I'm sorry. So one of the interesting things about maple, Wisconsin does in fact produce an awful lot of locally produced maple syrup, and other than some of the store-bought stuff that we put all over pancakes for our kids, there's a far more intense flavor associated with maple syrup and true maple syrup. And when you're making drizzles or you're making things to coat or whatever, yeah, we also add other ingredients. And now I see one of my personal favorite things, and that is
this Basil Hayden bourbon.
Basil Hayden bourbon from Kentucky, although there are producers here in Wisconsin as well. So we just saw you interrupt one of our friends over here on the left, on my left, and if you want, you can show us how that consistency changes.
So now you'll see how it's nice and smooth, and it's mixed well together.
So as we put together those items, you're also adding in your spices. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we chose an Italian seasoning because, like I said, our sister city is Cosenza, so obviously Italian. We used onion powder. Onion powder is another one of those things that kind of helps wake up the taste buds. It kind of helps just meld all those flavors together. And then salt and pepper. Because who doesn't love salt and pepper?
Great. So a lot of these sauces and things are put onto regular ingredients, and in this case you're making a drizzle that's going over a hot dog. I got to be honest with you, I've never heard of somebody doing that over a hot dog, but I can imagine that it probably complements that quite well.
For display only.
For display only, yes, that's true. So these are examples of the samples that you guys will be getting from each of the teams. Speaking of, we talked a little bit about cooking in the firehouse. What inspired you to be a police officer versus, say, I don't know, a knitting expert?
You were never good at knitting?
No. So, you know what? The honest answer was, and this is something that I know it sounds kind of cliche, kind of corny, but I grew up by Fonte food. You know what I mean? Right there. Uptown, Frank, Bain, Jefferson, and just growing up. Back when 50th and 52nd there used to be Diane's place. You know what I mean? And by 14th, and it was just growing up, and it was my city, and I love my city, and I've always wanted to just grow up. And then when you have kids, things kind of change, you know what I mean? And you want them to be proud of you and try hard and make sure that, hey, you're showing the, the hard, well-paved road, and, just one of those things.
Service to the community. And same question to you, Austin. What drove you or led you towards the fire service career versus, say, I don't know, grass cutting? Oh, you do that on the side.
What led me towards the firefighting is I have an uncle that was a firefighter in the Goshen Fire Department. So just watching him grow up and how proud he was to serve his community, just to show up to work every day, because he didn't leave work at work. He brought work home with him. He was just so much pride and dedication in that guy that it always stuck with me in my heart. And I'm like, you know what? It's a great career to get into. It's great to raise kids within that career because they grow up and they see what their dad's doing and they're proud of their dad. So really, it's pride. It's all pride, and I pride myself every day on what I do. So
good. So I see you guys are working a little bit into that. If you can tell me a little bit about the pasta as far as why you chose just a plain, tortellini, ravioli, becoming stuffed with 10,000 different things. I've even seen pumpkin at Tenutas as well. Why did you choose just a simplistic cheese?
Tortellini, it's always a fan favorite, and it's easy to work with. Unlike a ravioli, where a ravioli, if you try to mix it with a bunch of stuff, it'll just crumble and fall apart. And it goes well in a pasta salad.
Yeah.
I don't know who's the windy guy. I think it's probably me. So yeah, it's definitely not you. So, Javi, can you tell me a little bit just while we're mixing in these? I see some secret spices. Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. I like it. Muy bien. Okay, so can you tell us? You mentioned that you work day shift. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like? Kind of more like a daily routine, or some of the things that you have to go through in order to get through that shift.
Okay. Well, first things first, disclaimer. I know my competition was explaining that you can get those. Unfortunately, I can tell you guys how to make this maple bourbon drizzle, but the key component is this right here. Okay, this is a combination. It's a sweet rub. This is my own personal blend. I can't let y'all in on the secret. Okay, secret clearance. It is what it is. But it's a sweet rub. If anyone you want to use, this one right here. It's a Frankenstein that I made back in the day because I was stationed at Fort Bragg down south, and I had a buddy of mine that showed me how to do rubs and seasoning like that. So, and this is the last of it before I make more. But as for the daily life of a day shifter, it varies. Nowadays, here we go. There we go. All right, now I can do it. Okay. So the daily life of a day shift patrol officer, in the beginning, sometimes it could be slow, but let's just be honest. Everybody knows that times are changing. Things are getting more and more crazy, more and more wild. So nowadays it's a crapshoot. You know what I mean? You get your calls most of the time. It's community. You know what I mean? You can shake hands and help out neighbor troubles. The rainstorms, things like that. But I mean, both know that all three of us know You know, every now and again you got certain current issues that are happening in our time nowadays where you have to go up, med calls, you know, people fighting, neighbor troubles, you know, and it's just a mixture of everything.
So do you think you both agree that there's a certain amount of social work that goes into public service as far as interaction with people? Is that a fair statement?
Oh, that's completely accurate.
Okay, great. So it's more than just putting on that uniform and showing up in a really cool vehicle and stuff like that, right?
Come on, Jeff, you know that's why you did the job.
Yeah, I like driving a big red truck, so.
I'm giving you the 5-minute warning.
5-minute warning, okay, all right. So.
It's all right. We're going to start giving out the samples.
Oh, okay, in 5 minutes we're going to start giving out samples. So I'm going to try and get through a couple of these things real quick. How far ahead can you make pasta salad?
Oh, I mean, you can make the pasta a couple days in advance, but you really don't want to dredge it in that sauce until you're ready to serve it. So 15-20 minutes until you're ready to serve it. Because that sauce, otherwise it's just going to soak right into that noodle, and that noodle is going to swell up, and it's just going to be mush. So 15 minutes in advance, but the pasta being cooked days in advance.
So you talked a little bit about having a secret spice that goes into your sauce, and I got to be honest with you, that's the first time I've ever seen a police officer empty a plastic bag into something. They usually end up putting it into an evidence bag, but it is what it is. Basil Hayden, any particular reason why you chose that bourbon, say, versus anything else, or is that just something that you gravitated towards?
And so Terry could have some after the show, right? Yeah, that was it. I knew it.
It's my favorite kind.
It happens to be one of my all-time favorite. We'll have a little discussion about that afterwards. Test it out, make sure it's doing good. You know, I know that you both have a lot of grilling experience. Is there any one tip to somebody that is maybe thinking about jumping in on the whole grilling type thing that you would offer as a starting piece of advice? Low and slow.
Yeah, low and slow, and do not overhandle.
Okay, there's something to talk about too, is overhandling stuff that's on the grill, whether it's meat, vegetables, things of that nature. We want to put grill marks on things. That adds to flavor. It also adds to a little bit of presentation. But overhandling anything that we put on the grill is always ends up a recipe for disaster more than anything else. So, Austin, I'll leave you. Any last words for our audience as far as what you'd like to tell them about anything that we're putting out today, or anything in general?
I mean, enjoy, and thanks for coming out. This is a huge chance to support the Mahone Fund. So thank you for being here, and thank you for trying our food. Abby?
Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for supporting the Mahone Fund. And yeah, enjoy. Hope you guys like it.
All right, these guys are going to sneak in the back, and they're going to help plate up the rest of this. So the blue team has obviously blue plates, and the red team for fire has red tapes. And Terry's also going to explain a little bit about how the voting goes, so that you all get a chance to vote. And most importantly, thank you all for being here today and supporting the Mahone Fund, a fantastic charitable foundation that is supported by police and fire and a whole lot of other organizations. So thank you all for coming.
All right, thank you, Jeff, Austin, and Javi. Got to kick those guys behind the scenes to make sure all these samples get out to you. Let's give a big round of applause for our guys who did the demo. So again, our teams today were the Kenosha Professional Police Association and the Kenosha Professional Firefighters Local 414. And they were backed up by the statewide charitable fund for the firefighters as sponsors. Now, you might be noticing that not only do your dishes look different, they're on different colored plates. That's because Terry tried to make it as the least amount of confusing as possible. So when it comes time to vote over there, you're going to have a ballot. You're going to circle the one you like best, and you're going to put the ballot in the colored plates that you like the best. So So if you like the blue one best, you put your ballot in the blue bucket. If you like the red one best, you put your ballot in the red bucket. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. We try to make it easy for everyone. Another thing that we want to talk about is the fact that we have the lovely trophy, and that's going to be given out on the main stage right after Landy Cabrera plays about 3:20 this afternoon, okay? So you can see who the winner is at 3:20 on the main stage. And last but not least, we also would like to thank Creative Designs. They're the ones who made these signs with all of our sponsors and the banner for the cooking studio and all those lovely things. They donate those every year to the Mahone Fund, so we'd really like to thank them for that. So yay! Woo! All right, guys, do we have any other questions today?
They're coming.
No? We're good? All right, well, thank you all for coming. Enjoy your samples. And don't forget to vote. And don't forget the surprise from Gateway Technical College. Did you guys find out what that surprise was yet? Well, the culinary program decided that you guys having 2 samples wasn't enough. And so they decided to bake you guys some cookies. And so when you're finished with your samples, they're going to give out some cookies. So be ready for that after the samples are done. They're going to bring you out some cookies for you to try because 2 half of sausages is not enough to eat. All right? All right, guys, enjoy the concert. Thank you so much for supporting the Mahone Fund. It is an organization near and dear to my heart. I've been friends with the family my entire life, and I love the kids that they support every year with their scholarships. And I'm so proud of you all for coming and supporting them as well. Have a good day, guys. Bye!
Terry, did you tell us how we can vote?
Yes.
It's
Over
got
there. Put it in the right color bucket. Oh. I should mention one thing. Ooh. I should mention one more thing. When we started this a few years ago, I was a little concerned because the guys always seem super competitive, right? They seem very competitive with each other. And so I was concerned I'd have to get real serious about this ballot situation and like stamp hands to make sure nobody tried to vote twice and all that kind of stuff. And the firefighters looked me straight in the face and they said, Terry, this is for charity. If somebody offers you $5 to buy another ballot, you sell them another ballot. And so you all get one for free, but if anybody wants to vote more than once, it's all going to the Mahone Fund. So throw in, all right? Have a good day, guys. Bye. Oh, they're old enough to vote in this election.
And they know exactly who they want to vote for, too.
There you go, guys. I got one for you. I got one for you. There you go.
We gotta
Oh, you voted already.
I'm gonna.
All right, there we go. Hey guys, having a good festival? Awesome. What you may not know is today we have special visitors from our sister city in Wolfenbüttel, Germany. They have been our sister city for 53 years. And they're here to help us award the trophy for our cooking competition. What our competition was this year is we challenged the Kenosha Police over here and the Kenosha Fire Department to come up with their version of a Kenosha dog. Whatever that means, whatever side dish they want to do, something they thought would represent Kenosha. And so they came all out and did that. And we figured it was appropriate, since our German visitors are known for sausage, and Jägermeister, but who's counting? And so we thought it was appropriate to do this year with 2 hometown teams. And so this year, our fire department over there did an Italian-inspired dish that they tri-colored in red, white, and green with pesto, fresh smoked mozzarella, and marinara to look at our Italian heritage here in Kenosha with a lovely pasta salad. And I really enjoyed the creativity from our police department. They leaned in using a ton of hometown products, including, instead of a traditional bun for their sweet and sour dog, hometown dog, they went with a Paelli's Long John donut. So you have to enjoy that, along with Tenutas, and Ellen, no, you did. L&M Hometown Meats provided their sausage. So they really did a great job being creative on what a Kenosha dog could mean to us. And the audience got to taste and sample and vote. And on top of voting and getting free samples, we raised another extra $150 for the Mahone Fund from people. Yay! So, without further ado, I will announce our winner today. Some of you may not be surprised. The police have been saying for a while it's not a fair competition because firefighters get to vote on the job, get to cook on the job, and they don't. But the firefighters came in top again this year, and so we have them. And our guest from Wolfenbüttel will be awarding the trophy. Austin is our team lead, and Javi was the team lead over there. All right, and Austin?
I just want to say thanks for the cops coming out. It's huge for us to come together on events like this to raise money for the community and really come home when it matters, come together when it matters. Because, yeah, out there on the streets we work together and we kind of have a little beef between each other, but at the end of the day we come together when it matters. So.
All right, let's hear it for both of our teams and all of the service they do for our community. Yay! Thank you guys. I'll turn it back over to our regular, wait, Javi has something to say.
All right, so this is our first year. I got my group. I want to give a shout out to my crew right there. All right, these guys put in some solid work. It was our first year. Shout out to the firefighters. You know what I mean? They've been doing this for a while. This is our first year. Next year, we'll be better prepared. Shout out to all you guys coming out. It's always awesome to do stuff for the community, to raise some money, and you know, Jazz Fest has always been a good outcome and a good event to come out here, and thank you guys for having us.
Thank you, Javi. Have a great festival, everyone.